Howdy, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm Sean Wild, a dad of 3, a high school teacher, and a coach who's still trying to figure out how to fit in a run between diaper changes and lesson plans. Welcome to Running Wild, a podcast about the miles that matter in running, coaching, parenting, and life. After 12 years of coaching and a lifetime of chasing finish lines, touchdowns, goals, I've realized the best lessons don't come from medals. They come from the long runs, the setbacks, and the small wins that nobody sees. Each week, I'll share stories, some reflections, and lessons that have helped me or others not just run faster, but freer and with purpose. So lace up, take a deep breath, and let's start running wild. So this week I had the opportunity to go to our first competition. Now everybody's first competition, there's a lot of jitters. And it doesn't matter if you're prepared or not. There's always going to be those jitters when it's the first of the season. And it doesn't matter if you're the athlete or the coach. For me, my day started waking up at 3 a.m., 3:30, making sure that I got my breakfast of oatmeal and brown sugar, driving to the school to make sure that I got everything packed and ready to go, grabbing a couple extra uniforms just in case anybody forgot them or missed the last couple practices but still had enough practices to go that needed them. I did end up handing a uniform out, but it was more because they needed some bottoms. And, as an experienced coach, I know that's going to happen when I wasn't experienced. There was times I was telling kids, well, wear what you got, or let's see if we can borrow one. Some of you may be freaking out when you hear that, but it happens. And you can't let your underwears get up into a bunch when situations like that happen. I've learned that over the years that I've coached. A nice little reflection from meet to meet, game to game, season to season. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm going to strive to be perfect, but it's never going to happen. And I think you guys know that you're not going to be perfect either. Same thing with our athletes, or with you as an athlete. We want everything to go right, but it's never going to. And if it does, that is one special day. And I hope that you can remember it for as long as you live, and you're able to share why it happened, and we can dissect it and reflect on it so that we can make it happen as close to or fully again. So, obviously, while I'm trying to talk with you guys, I'm going to have a lot of nerves too. I mean, the biggest thing that prevented me from doing this in the future was the fact that I was doing it all alone at that point. Not because I needed help with editing like I claimed it was, but it's because I was sitting here trying to figure out what to say, staring at a computer or staring at the black mic. Constantly losing my breath, not knowing what to say or do. But I've been blessed with an opportunity to try to do this all again. Those of you that know me, who are kind enough to take the time and listen to me, you know that I have quite a good number of accolades to say that I know what I'm doing. And even closer people know that I tell them, oh, no way, man, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. The fact that we've won or we've done well is because of something else, because I have no idea what I'm doing. In fact, one of my first athletes that I had, we had a running joke, because I told him, I was just like, I'm doing the program that I think will work, but I don't know if it will work. And so we got to state, and he just did amazing. And he was just like, oh man, just imagine if you knew what you were doing. And I was like, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But it was great because I was in that journey and I was open and I was vulnerable with somebody. And it was only after reflection that I learned that that's just going to be the type of coach that I am. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to talk with my athletes like that. And the truth is, in life, if we're willing to be vulnerable with people and let them know actually how we're feeling, we're going to do a lot better. We're going to enjoy life a lot better. Because if we're just going to try to do it alone and not ask for help or give help when we need it or we know they need it, life's going to be way too hard. So, as we're kind of going through this journey, I want you guys to know I've fallen flat on my face, I've embarrassed myself, and I've gotten up. In fact, let me tell you a very embarrassing story one time during an indoor track meet. It's at state. And they didn't want us helping to keep track of counting the laps, and I was a little grumpy with that because an indoor track, on a 200-meter track, a 2-mile race, has 16 laps. And when they only had like a couple people, maybe 4 max, trying to keep track of all the laps. And we had some phenomenal runners in that race, and we had not so good of runners in that race. And so with lots of there was lots of runners that were lapping other runners, and so it became kind of a hot mess. And my girl that was going to get top 4, they told her she had 1 more lap. And then she gets back and they say, oh, 1 more lap. And I was, of course, yelling, no, you told her she only had 1 more. Luckily, my athlete kept going, but I was pretty upset. I was yelling. And again, for those that know me or have actually seen me, to actually see me yell, it isn't in character. It doesn't make sense. In fact, when I yell and my athletes are around, they usually end up laughing at me because it's not my personality. But most of these people didn't know me, so they were trying to take me seriously, but they also were trying to get me to cool off. Finally, I had another coach who was like, hey, Sean, look at the time. And I look at the time, realize, oh, that would be a pretty big PR for her. She does have 1 more lap. That makes sense. Okay, I need to sit down and be quiet. And I was pretty red in the face because I was embarrassed, not because I was mad anymore. So, as the day went on, I apologized to people that had the opportunity to be at the receiving end of me yelling. And you know what? Whether it's just because at face value they were taking it, oh yeah, it's okay, don't worry about it. But I, in fact, felt better knowing that I took the time to apologize because I knew I was wrong. And those of you that hate to apologize, get over it. Go and apologize to people. Apologize for being overly nice, being mean, making a mistake. Definitely, if you make a mistake, especially if it affected somebody, don't hide in shame. Own up to it. It's going to help you heal, and it's going to help them heal a lot faster. And so, as you're going through this life, I hope that you can take this message that has been shared by many people before. Be open and be vulnerable. Because if you can do that, you're just going to fly in this life. And you don't have to worry about how you look when you run. Because we're going to be happy that you're running wild.